What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? I hope everyone's doing well. First off, let me just start this video off by saying thank you again to everyone for the subscriptions, the views, the comments, the likes, everything. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me, and I'm going to keep trying to inspire you guys to keep moving on, keep moving forward. And I hope that you guys continue to do the same for me. So, again, thank you so much. I wanted to kind of touch base on some of the things that led up to my HS diagnosis and some of the things that I went through during that time period when I found out I had it. Basically, back in 2008, I remember I was taking a shower and I felt under my arm as I was, washing my arms, and I realized I had a hard knot, which kind of concerned me naturally, but it wasn't so big that it really caused me to panic. I just felt it and I was like, what is this? But I didn't really do much about it. It didn't warrant a trip to the doctor for me, which in hindsight, I should have gone to the doctor about it, but it was just one of those things where I just thought, hey, maybe it's a clogged hair follicle or something like that. So I just left it alone and moved on. And I'd say about another week later, that same knot probably at least tripled in size over that time period. So by this point, I'm kind of concerned about it, and I still hadn't really gone to the doctor about it, which again, in hindsight, I should have, but live and you learn. Around the same time period, I've noticed that I started getting boils on the back of my neck also, which I'd always kept a short haircut. I'd always shave my hair at least once a week, so I didn't think too much of that fact that I've started getting them on the back of my neck. I was just like, well, I'm just gonna start using some more alcohol. Maybe I'm not using enough, right before I'm shaving. So I kind of let that go under the bridge just like everything else. And, gradually, looking back on it, I can see the pieces falling into place. All the signs were there, but I just really didn't pay attention to them enough. Because, every day I think of, well, what if I would have caught it a little bit early? Maybe I could have got on something that could have shut it down in its beginning stages, but that's water under the bridge right now. But you can't help but think about stuff like that sometimes. But anyway, around that same time period as well, I noticed that my groin area would continue to get those same abscesses like repeatedly. And again, I just thought it was just clogged hair follicles or something. I didn't think it was going to be something more sinister, something like HS. I never would have thought that I would have had it. No one in my family had HS. I didn't know what it was, where it came from. Was it something that I did or what? But the final straw, I'll go ahead and say, was probably 2 to 3 weeks later. The same knot that was under my arm continued to grow in size, and as it grew, the pain became excruciating. And one night I went to bed with that pain, and I said, okay, I'm gonna try to lay down, I'm gonna try to go to sleep. I took some pain medicine for it, and it did nothing, absolutely nothing. So I wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm talking about out of a cold sleep. I wake up, and all I felt was a sharp pain. I jumped out of the bed, and I screamed because I never felt a pain like that before. It didn't bring me to tears or anything, but the pain was so excruciating that I felt helpless. And it was at that point that I said, okay, I have to go to the urgent care right now. So it was It's probably about maybe 12 or 1 in the morning. Uh, my girlfriend at the time drove me down to the emergency room at the local hospital. And I sat there for, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 hours. You know, if you've ever been to an ER, you know how slow things get out there. So I sat out there for at least that long. Um, Finally got back to the doctor, showed him my arm, and no lie, there was a baseball-sized cyst under my left arm. And I'm pretty sure you guys know how possible that is when you're talking about HS. So uh, basically, the doctor goes on to say, well, we need to get this thing lanced. And as soon as he said lance, I was like, what is that? Because I never had any experience with getting anything lanced before. This is my first time going through this. I'm like, well, what is this lancing? What are you talking about? He said, well, we need to go ahead and open this thing up so it can get drained. And the first thing came across my mind was, no, you're not doing that. Just give me some pain medicine so this thing can stop hurting me so I can go back home. And I actually sat there and I tried to convince him to just give me the pain medicine so I can leave. And ultimately, he explained to me that, hey, we can't do that. We need to get this infection out of you so, you know, you won't get sicker than what you probably are right now. So eventually, he just talked me into it. My girlfriend talked me into it because I was literally about to leave. I don't like being cut on and nothing like that. Even though I've got tattoos and things like that, I just don't like being cut on. But, you know, in hindsight, of course, that's the best course of action is to get it lanced if it's something that large and it's causing that amount of pain. Um, we went forward with the procedure. He got it lanced, and you know, I don't want to be too graphic, but there was a good amount of uh, discharge from that abscess, and I'd never seen anything like that before. It was a baseball-sized abscess, and it just kept coming out. It was coming, and I was like, "What is this?" So he took a culture of it, sent it out to the lab, and he gave me a referral to a local dermatologist that I started, you know, going to try to get a treatment plan for it, the HS. And so, you know, all the while I'm still in pain. I'm kind of confused as to what's going on, why is this happening, things like that. So, finally, the procedure's over. He packs the wound. He tells me, do X, Y, Z. You know, keep it covered, keep it clean, and we'll see you back in X amount of days. Just kind of check on things. In the meantime, we'll get you an appointment out to the dermatologist. I was like, cool, just get me out of here. So that same morning, I went home and I started doing some research. I wanted to know what was wrong with me. I couldn't figure out why I kept having these skin problems, and they were only under my arms, and they were behind my neck and in my groin area. And I was like, what is this? Why am I going through this? So I started doing some research on it, and you know, I started typing in Google, boils under my arm, abscesses, you know, in my groin area, and I started getting hits on Hidradenitis Suppurativa, and I was like, what is this? And so I clicked on the images, and I was like, well, it kind of looks like what I got, but again, I don't know. I'm not a dermatologist or anything, but this really looks like what I have. So over the course of the next maybe week and a half, 2 weeks, I started to kind of put two and two together as far as the things that were going on during the time that I'd have my flare-ups. I started realizing that around the times that I would have flare-ups, I had consumed a lot of, you know, breads and sugars and a lot of grains, glutens, and things like that. And I realized that, that's kind of probably was contributing to this flare-ups that I've been having. So, over time, I was able to put two and two together with that. And so, just to make a long story short, I see my dermatologist. He comes up to me and says, "I'm not even gonna, joke around with you. This is one of the most serious cases of HS that I've ever seen in my career." And at that time, I was just like, well, in my mind, I was thinking, well, thank you for scaring me, sir. But at that time, I know he probably didn't mean anything by it. He just wanted to be frank and upfront about it. But you gotta understand, for somebody that's never been through this before, doesn't know anything about this, it could get kind of scary, because at that point I'm thinking the worst. I'm thinking HS is probably gonna take me out or something like that. But we all know it's probably not going to do anything major. It's not anything life threatening. It's just a hassle. It's just one of those things that we just have to push through. So over time, I just got on a treatment plan of just antibiotics. Really, I've tried cephalexin, which is actually the best antibiotic for me. My body responds pretty well to cephalexin. I've been on minocycline. I've been on all the tetracyclines. I've been on sulfa drugs. I've been on countless antibiotics, and some of them I've been allergic to, some of them I'm not. Some of them work, some of them have not worked. I've also taken Accutane in the past, thinking that maybe that would work. I spoke to my dermatologist, and he kind of suggested that I try that out. It did absolutely nothing for my HS. So just in case your dermatologist is out there, trying to talk you into taking Accutane for your HS, I mean, maybe it'll work for you. I hope it does work for you, but just know it did not work for me at all for my HS. However, it did clear my acne up. But it came with a lot of different side effects, and that's a whole nother video. If you guys want me to talk about the Accutane also, just leave a comment down below, and I'll make another video about the Accutane and my review on the Accutane and all that. But yeah, the Accutane didn't work. I've tried creams. I've tried steroids. I've been on prednisone. The prednisone works really well, but you can't really stay on it long term. It's just one of those things where if I'd ever jumped on the prednisone, I'd had to be on a taper. I'd be on like a 7-day taper, and on the first day I'd take, I don't know, 5, and second day I'll take 4, third day I'll take 3, the next day I'll take 2, so on and so forth, something like that. But it worked really well for me, and I've had countless lancing procedures done. I've had one right here on my neck. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's right there. I've had several under my arms. Had one in my groin area. It's just been a journey. But I'm still here. I'm learning every day. I'm growing every day. Still learning things about HS. I really want to get more into the research aspect of HS. I want to not only help others, but I want to help myself. I want to see what I can do to kind of control it, and ultimately what I can do to help contribute to getting rid of it altogether for all of us. I'm still learning things about my body. I'm still working on my diet and making sure that I'm eating whole foods, 80 to 90% of the time. And every now and then I have something that I really want, like a quote unquote bad food. But once again, it's a process, it's a journey, and it's just one of those things where you just have to make an adjustment. Things happen in life, whether they be good or bad, but you still must make adjustments. It doesn't matter what happens to you, but what really matters is how you respond to it. So I'm keeping that in mind. I'm just living life, man, because at the end of the day, it could always be worse. Always be worse. I'm still fortunate to be able to, move around. I still got my, full body function. I'm able to walk, talk. I'm able to, use my hands, my legs, my feet, my eyes. I can hear, I can talk, and there's some people out there that can't even do, some of those things. And I just have to keep that perspective in mind when I'm comparing it to my situation. Because at the end of the day, this HS is nothing compared to some of the things that other people go through, some of the things that other people are dealing with, like these diseases that are, terminal diseases and things like that. Man, this is nothing. So I'm keeping that mindset going forward. I'm just trying to stay encouraged, trying to live every day, do my best, do the best that I can, and I'm gonna do the same for y'all. I'm just gonna keep on moving forward, keep pushing on. So again, I just want to thank you for just listening to me, just for watching my video. You could have watched any video on YouTube. There's millions of videos out there, and you're watching mine, so I appreciate it. But be on the lookout for more videos like this. If you want to, talk to me, ask me any kind of questions, or you want to know what I think about anything, just ask me a question. Just type it out in the comment section, and I'll answer it for sure. And like I said, I'm here for you guys. I'm here for myself. I'm here for everyone. So once again, if you need me, just reach out to me. I'm accessible pretty much 24/7. I'm always online. If you leave a comment, if you like something, if you subscribe, I'll know right then and there because I have my notifications turned on. So I'm ready to interact with you guys. Just let me know if you have any questions. But other than that, I really appreciate your guys' time, and I thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.